This story went up just before the Super Bowl. Kid Rock Festival cancels several tour dates after artists drop out. One band says it wants to unite, not divide. And so I'm at MGM on the day before the Super Bowl, and I said someone brought up Bad Bunny, and we're sitting at a poker table, and then I asked everybody, I was like, "You guys excited for this, bro?" Everybody was laughing. They were like, "No." And and I was like, "Yeah, Turning Point's going to do that Kid Rock show," and the dealer goes, "Oh, but everyone dropped out of that." And I was like, "No, they didn't." And he was like, "Yeah, I read that everybody dropped out." And I was like, "I think you're thinking of something different because they're doing their show like tomorrow." And then he was like, "Oh, I don't know." This is what they do.
It's a disinfo campaign.
They run the story to tell people there's no show anymore. And then when you bring it up,
separate festival.
Yep,
it's a separate festival. It's a separate thing. And by the way, again, though, this is how the industry was working to chop block us at every turn, working to, oh, we're not going to give you these rights. We're not going to give you those rights. You can't broadcast on this song on X. You can't do this. You can't do that. And then suddenly they put pressure on, okay, Kid Rock thinks he's going to go up against the Super Bowl halftime show. Well, we're going to put pressure on bands to cancel his tour. We're going to cancel the dates. We're going to cancel the festival. Anything they could. And in despite of that, we still get 40, 50 million.
Do you have the video? So there's a bunch of videos from the Super Bowl of the crowd, but do you have the actual video of the show?
What do you mean?
Did you post it on your X?
So
there's a bunch of videos we all have seen.
I don't think I actually have posted the video on X.
You know why? This is the craziest thing. So, okay, there's a bunch of videos where people during the show filmed the crowd and the crowd's not dancing.
Right.
That is not the most interesting video. Someone filmed the actual set of the halftime show, and you can't see anything because the whole center of the field is stalks of sugarcane.
I've seen this, yeah.
And you can't see anybody inside doing anything. It
actually reminded me of the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, that video, because you just see like the rustling of the tall grass.
Yes.
And so you're sitting there, you're looking for a show because
kind of swaying a little bit.
When you look at our halftime show, we went for that traditional spectacle, whereas which you could enjoy on TV or live. Yeah. Whereas theirs, you could only
Here we go.
Live on
Check
TV.
this out. This is I don't need to hear that. So the people sitting in the stands can't actually see anything going on.
Yeah, they see the velociraptors.
Yep. And so people are like, it was a great show. It was a tremendous success. And I'm like, bro, no, it wasn't. This was for TV, not for... Look at this. You can't see anything. This is nuts, man. You know what really... Oh, it's so annoying. I don't want to hear this guy. The most annoying thing about this is the media keeps saying it was a record-breaking thing, 135 million views, smashing success. And I'm like, just stop. I can't stand the Pravda. The party is stronger than ever. It's perfect. We're great. And then everybody else is watching Turning Point.
Look, Clay Travis came out and, I trust him when it comes to sports reporting. That's how he cut his teeth, Outkick. He knows this stuff. He said this was the largest drop-off they've had for a halftime show in Super Bowl history.
40% or 50%.
And he also pointed out that typically the halftime shows get a bump because people tune in because they want to see the show. Think Michael Jackson in '93.
Listen.
People want to see him because of his stardom.
When they had Eminem and who was it? Eminem and Snoop and Dre. It was like 2022 or whatever. Yeah. I don't watch football. I know very little about football. We had a Super Bowl party. We were eating nachos. Here's what you do. You put cream cheese, chili, and then cheddar on top. That's a secret recipe. Or melt chili. You bake it. It's the best football dip ever. And then when the halftime show came on, we all watched the TV. Mm-hmm. The halftime show is what everybody attaches to. The fact that they lost half their viewers when it happened.
But here's actually something. Well, keep in mind though, and this is something where so when people are comparing the numbers, and Tim, I know you understand this, that they're actually comparing apples to oranges because our views on YouTube and our views from our cable partners and over the top and fast networks, et cetera, those are devices. Whereas Nielsen is completely different.
Right.
Nielsen uses a formula where they assume, and I kind of agree with this, they say, well, nobody really watches the Super Bowl by themselves. It's typically at a party or something. Yep. And so what they do is they take the household number and they times it by 3.
Yep.
So when you're reading Nielsen ratings, it says that. Whereas, and then they'll say, and Turning Point got 20 million views on their YouTube channel. It's like, well, first of all, we had more than one stream up. And second of all,
and there are parties and there are bars.
But those were parties, those were bars. There were anyone with a YouTube TV set. I mean, the one I was at, we had like 30 people were there with my wife.
This has been a long-standing challenge for us on Timcast IRL, because right now we have, let's see, between YouTube and Rumble, we have about 44,000 concurrent viewers. The issue is, when we sell against this and we say, like, oh, you know, the show's going to get 600, 700,000 views, there's a difference between a show like ours, which is live 8 to 11 p.m. every day, and a VOD, which is watched on mobile. About half our viewers watch on TVs. And so one thing I noticed very early on was that it seemed disproportionate, the amount of people who knew about the show and talked to me, and I didn't understand until we actually figured out, talking with some industry execs who said, oh, it's because you're a TV show. Timcast IRL is watched on a lot of televisions, right? Yeah, there's 4 or 5 people in that room. Yep. And I went, oh. We had advertisers saying...
College dorm.
Right. Yep. So we had advertisers say to us, we heard this for like 2 years, you overperform. You have 600,000, 700,000 viewers. We'll buy an ad from you, and it performs as though it's 1 million. We love advertising on your show, and we sell ads like crazy. The reality is we're underselling because the metrics used online are seemingly a device, even if it's actually multiple people. So here's a challenge for you, Jack, and here's what you guys should say. You guys should say you had 90 million viewers. I'm gonna say it right now.
30 million, then you would times it by 3.
Because the halftime show was played on bars, on televisions. It was not, and it's a silly thing to assume. In fact, here's what you really should do. Go into the channel's metrics and look how many mobile devices and how many TVs. And for every TV, do the Nielsen analysis. So if you guys have 40% TVs, call that, you got 45 million. Let's say 20 times 3, 60. That puts you at 85 million views for the TPUSA halftime show.
People.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Viewers.
And this is my point. So whenever you read these articles and they're comparing the numbers, you're comparing apples to oranges because Nielsen uses the times 3.
Let me just throw this to you because we mentioned this on the show when it happened, or the day after. Which advertiser out there, which would you prefer? I can hold up a sign that someone will walk past, or I can hold up a sign to a group of people who are looking to come and stare at the sign.
You want the engaged.
You want the engaged. The Turning Point halftime show was people saying, I'd like to come find this. The Super Bowl halftime show was people who had the TV on in the background.
Right.
So it's not only apples to oranges.
Did you see that video?
It's totally different metrics.
This guy's going viral because he had a Super Bowl party and he put on the 2014 Super Bowl and nobody noticed the entire time.
There's a lot of people that just tune in for the halftime show. There's a lot of people that just tune in just to watch the commercials.
Not this year.
Well, those are the most pathetic people, like just broken by life.
Well, here's something interesting as well, because I didn't really watch a lot of the commercials, but one of the ones that I did catch was, and I guess there's been a series of these, Duncan with like Ben Affleck, and this is like the 3rd year that he's done an iteration of this. So did you notice that they brought back a lot of the 90s sitcom characters for this one?
Oh, really?
So like Jason Alexander comes in from Seinfeld, and I think I want to say they had David Schwimmer from Friends came in, and Jennifer Aniston.
Still alive?
And if maybe it was Matt LeBlanc, the Joey. And point being is they were going for that 90s nostalgia in this one piece. But here's the twist, right? So you're going for that 30 to 44 age demo that's out there, like your 80s, early 90s kids. But what's amazing is who's Kid Rock's key demo is the people in that same
not
age
Bad Bunny.
range. No, certainly not Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's demo was because that was globalist, right? But the reason they had, so just to finish my point, we had Kid Rock. So we were, not only did we get the views that we got, but we were also cutting into that key demo that they were looking for, which it wasn't something that we really intended to do. But, thinking about it now, because we're talking ratings, we're talking numbers, we're talking all this stuff, you get the number 2 YouTube live stream of all time. And suddenly we're realizing that, wait a minute, I bet you if we broke that out by age, we probably got that key advertising demo that they wanted, the disposable income, the elder millennials, centennials, Gen Y, that's who they were going for. And we stole a lot of those. Yeah. Meanwhile, Bad Bunny, they say he's the number 1 global streamer. Yeah, but that's because he's got a targeted audience.
It's because
in
they
the Spanish-speaking world. And there are a lot
It's
of allegations of autoplay.
That's what it is. When I go in my Tesla and I say like top music, there are people on there who are, you know what? I'll put it like this, without disparaging a particular band. I'm not going to say their name. I was hanging out at MGM and a song comes on. Mm-hmm. This song on YouTube has like 1.3 million views and it's been out for a few years. And I'm just thinking to myself, why is this song playing in a casino with 50,000 people in it? Nobody knows what the song is and it's not a good song.
Yeah.
It's obvious the label just said, we want this on rotation.
Oh, well, like in the people can buy the streams. And I remember like a few years ago, my Spotify got hacked and I was still logged in and I would change the song and it would autoplay. But I won't say which artist it was, but it's like a rapper that had accusations of buying his streams. And it would keep going back to the song he had just released over and over again. And then I found like it showed where the active logins were and it was in Russia. So it's like hacking
Russians.
Yeah. And then they were making a bot farm with stolen accounts.
We were at this, we were out the other night, the night before the halftime show, and I was like, and it was one of those places that has the touch tunes, like the jukebox.
I'm a touch tunes warrior.
And I was like, oh, let's get in there. It was getting hot. It was getting hot that night.
Dude, it gets like you're in the trenches.
It gets heated. You're absolutely in the
trench warfare. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple people that were. I was like,
I know.
And hey, the fast credits or whatever.
But then other people put their fast credits ahead of you.
It just turns into an arms race.
It was an arms race.
The Cold War.
It basically was. And
what you do? Oh, good.
And but before I went on my app, I actually just went over to the machine, and whose face was right there staring at me was Bad Bunny.
Of course.
And I was like, wait, and then his album was the first thing that popped up. It was Bad Bunny. I'm like, well, I want to do Ball with the Ball by Kid Rock. And it was so hard to search for it and dig through. And there were certain, I was just like, then I just got randomly like looking for different bands. And it's like, these are big bands who have huge followings, not even there.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you cut through all like the politics surrounding Bad Bunny, like it's just very nefarious because the NFL, Rock Nation, when they're choosing Bad Bunny to be the halftime show act,
Jay-Z, who runs Rock Nation.
Bro,
he controls. What makes it so nefarious is the halftime show is meant to just be an entertaining product for the audience at home. The reason they select Bad Bunny is because the NFL has been actively trying to expand into Latin America. That's why they play games in Mexico City. That's why they play games in Brazil.
This is what I was getting at.
So
that's why it's globalist.
Yeah, so that's why they're just treating the audience as an opportunity to expand a brand. It's so nefarious.
I got a question. Who's Luke Bryan?
He's a country singer.
Country. Are we okay with that?
Yeah,
okay with
I guess so.
Who's Jamie Johnson?
Don't know.
He's
country.
He's folk, right? He's folk music.
Is that okay? All right. Three Doors Down. I'm okay with that. So I have the Touch Tunes app, and you can from anywhere play music anywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
So I say we go to LA right now and we teach these people a lesson.
Yeah, just
put on some Kid Rock.
Ram it down their throats.
Wait, do they have wait, Tim, do they have any locations in Puerto Rico?
That's me and my friends, we go to like very lib-coded bars.
I don't think it lets you do anything that's not near you.
We would go to very lib-coded bars in Brooklyn and just ram Morrissey down their throats.
It's only letting me do things that are directly around you.
His Notre Dame song.
But I'll tell you what. Let's see, Waffle House.
Across the bow, you play some Morrissey, dude.
Waffle House in Inwood is
they have
playing
touch
nothing.
Tunes at Waffle House?
Yeah, bro, dude.
Waffle House is where it's at.
Oh, I know. I love Waffles, but it's like I didn't know they had touch
out
tunes there. The one I go to local doesn't have one.
You need a soundtrack for the violence.
Yeah, dude.
It's the fight music.
Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
You know what? No, I changed my mind. I figured it out. I'm going to start hitting up all of these touch tunes to make it play Bad Bunny so that people get angry and start complaining about it.
Creating hate for Bad Bunny. But to your point, Jack, it is about the globalism, but more than that, it was about subverting, I think, something that is truly American, right? Like he was speaking in Spanish. Most of your football fans don't speak Spanish. I mean, I understand that there's a lot of people that do speak Spanish in the U.S., but most of the guys that are watching football, they don't speak Spanish.
15% of the country.
Yeah, it's not a huge percentage. the flags that he was carrying, the Puerto Rican flag with the light blue, that's the revolutionary Puerto Rican flag. That was about separating himself from America. When he was saying, "Oh, we're all America," all of that stuff was implying that North and South America are the real America. It was all subversion. It was all communist BS.
This is open borders. This is globalism. This is everyone's
There was a
America.
migrant caravan marching across the border.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the flags, if you look at the flags that were at the front, those were all the colonies.
And there were so many conservatives saying that, it wasn't political at all. I'm looking at it and like there are foreign flags marching and saying we are.
There was
America.
a wedding.
There's not only people saying conservatives saying that, but Jacobin and DSA were saying the truth. They were saying, look, this is a great political statement.
This is why I actually appreciate, in a sense, Jacobin and DSA, because they're just honest.
Yeah.
Like like most liberals will lie to you,
Jacobin.
and so they'll lie to you. Whereas like at least the Jacobin guys are like, no, we are communists.
Yes.
We are here to
Fomenting
destroy you.
revolution.
We want a revolution in your country. That's what we're doing.
I have an ongoing subscription to Jacobin magazine.
Wow.
Well, I think it's important to know what
100%.
people think.
The reason that censorship is bad.
But I will say this too: Jacobin has been on the right side of some issues. We've discussed quite a bit. They're communists. I mean, they're super far left. But there have been issues of like government overreach that they've been on the right side of. That I agree with.
Famously, they endorsed a policy that's actually very right wing, which is when New York City passed a bill that every establishment has to take cash, no questions asked. It's a really right wing policy because that was at the same time when Beto O'Rourke was like Chase should deny purchases for AR-15s. And they're saying, well, we don't want banking controlling your purchases.
Yeah.
New York City, they pass a bill tending for it to like help homeless people buy stuff or whatever, but it's actually just a really right wing policy.
Well, look, when I came up there and I had no notes, I had no like direction. We threw this thing together in 3 months, and really less than that because we had AmFest and then Christmas and New Year's, really more like 2 months, and we'd cast a wide net early on. And then you have to drill down on venues and artists. And then we had so many artists who said they would do it. But then when it came to those rights, didn't work out. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not going to point fingers, but, I think we all know who didn't want a competitive halftime show. I'll just leave it at that. And I realized, though, that the way to win this is just make it completely non-political. No politics. Don't go up there and be trolling. Don't go up there and like talk about Trump or anything like that.
Just make a good product.
Just make a good product.
Just call it the English speaking halftime show.
All American.
They're gonna cast it as a political thing, anyways. The left was casting the TPUSA thing as they were saying that it's political. That it was these guys are all political and stuff. It doesn't matter what you're saying. It's just that the fact that it's people that are comfortable playing what is perceived as a right wing event, then it's political and it's blah blah blah. And even though the Bad Bunny one is the one that actually had all the subversion in it, right?
They set the stage last year with Kendrick Lamar.
But ultimately, I will say,
it's already been
in another sense, though, in like a higher sense, it is political, right? It's political because the left in this country has separated from the traditional idea of American patriotism. And so patriotism didn't used to be political. It is now.
Yeah.
And that's what made it the perfect storm where we wrote in there and said, we are going to do it this way. We're going to have this. We're going to have Kid Rock, who's, a super famous artist that, really that's what made this break containment. We broke containment where normies, people at bars, Uber drivers, whatever you call it, they're all saying, the Kid Rock halftime show, the American halftime show.
Kid Rock.
That's the one we watched.
It's objectively.
Whoa. How come you didn't get Creed?
And that
Alter Bridge was on tour in Europe.
Alter Bridge was on tour in Europe, and they were literally in Spain. And
But you're getting them next year for sure.
we're gonna see. We're gonna see what we do.
Just so long as you don't have.
I will be disappointed.
Yeah, just so long as you don't have
front row boxers, throw it on stage.
No, again,
I got a pitch for you guys.
But what I'm saying though is here's the thing is like when it comes to any one artist, and this is what it was a huge learning curve for me on so much of this. I should have called you to explain how all the rights work to everybody. It's not even up to the artists.
Of course,
it's about the people who own the rights to the song. So it's like what if we had gotten I'll just say Kid Rock. So it's like Kid Rock comes on, he says he wants to come, but then he doesn't own the rights to Ball with the Ball because Universal does. And then what if Universal says, "Oh, you can't play Ball with the Ball at Turning Point"?
I got a pitch for you.
And it's what do you do then?
I think you guys should actually do a festival next year. And the headline show should be the halftime, but there can be stuff before and after.
That was my look. The brainstorming, that was one of the ideas that I had early on. We wanted to do it outside. We wanted to do it with a huge audience. It worked out the way that it did this time because we had a limited time. That's something that we're actively looking at. By the way, though, I think I already do have the venue.
What remains will play,
and I can announce the venue tonight actually because I'll explain why, because we were looking at YouTube live streams over the years and the record. Tim, do you know what the #1 YouTube live stream of all time was, or currently is?
Well, YouTube live stream, that's the Moonlander, right?
Is the Indian Moonlander. It's the Indian Moonlander. So, you're going up against a subcontinent, 1.6, 1.7 billion
people.
Billion people. So what I've realized is no, we're doing it on the moon. Modi's going to be there. Modi's going to open it up so they all tune in.
Artemis, baby.
We cannot stand Bad Bunny.
So he's going to give him, we'll have like Ravi Shankar, or Anushka Shankar, his daughter, come on out. It's going to be phenomenal. She'll be the opener. And then we get that audience and then boom, we totally lock it in. No,
I think if you did a music festival,
I'd love to do a festival.
I think you should absolutely
I'd love to do a festival.
Because right now is the time to start planning for it.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Like big acreage, multi-stage?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're gonna do
Magaroo, that'd be sick.
If you do
singles Magaroo, right? but not political, no politics.
Yeah. You want to do 2 stages so that way you can have one stage being set up while the other one's going, whether they be end to end or next to it. Both of them.
Actually, that might work better because this was the reason, and cat's out of the bag because Kid Rock, and there was this whole controversy, not lip syncing. By the way, I'm there. I have video from the set. I have the masters. I was watching it. I posted
it's
this.
It's fake smears.
He is not lip syncing. There was an audio sync issue. Yes, for a portion of it where you can see. It's not just his vocals that are out of sync. Everything is out of sync. Like if you actually understand how music works, you could see the drums are out of sync, the guitars are out of sync, everything's out of sync in that moment because it was a sync issue. But I've got backstage footage where you can see the on the closed circuit that he's just singing like normal and he's right there. But so he let the cat out of the bag that it was pre-recorded. And when he says pre-recorded, that doesn't mean the music was pre-recorded. Yep. That means the show was pre-recorded. And the reason we pre-recorded is exactly what Phil just said. It was about setup time. Yep. Because Bad Bunny, think of it, and Tim, you just showed that video where they have to come out, they have to set up the grasslands or whatever, and do that all takes time. Whereas we were able to do more show in the same amount of time because we were able to eliminate that breakdown time because we could just show act to act to act to act. And Phil, obviously, because you put on shows, I'm sure you noticed that right away.
Oh yeah.
So festival, right? Multi-day,
but multiple stages could
solve
it.
What 2 days? How many days?
I mean, if you do 2 days, you're doing all right. I mean, usually if you're going to do 2 days, you're going to have 2 days with 2 stages. You're talking about probably 20 to 30 bands. Would be what you're looking for.
Wow. We'll get the Defiant to play.
There you go.
Yeah.
Patriot Fest.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid the political stuff here.
No, I say you call it Halftime Fest, and the point is you just get big bands. And then the message is not overtly political. It's just we want a good show from bands that we know and love. That's it. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, dude. If you're booking big bands, Kid Rock, you're going to sell tickets.
Yep.
You don't need to make it.
I don't think. I mean, look, the proof of concept. It's clearly there. And what we showed. And look. And this is where I talked about how the gatekeeping definitely affected us early on, but it ended up in a much better spot because now when you see the numbers like that, 40, 50 million all in on a wing and a prayer, and we're slapping this thing together like literally as we go along, that there's a lot of people that want to be associated with that amount of eyeballs.
Yep.
And when it comes down to it, Tim, it's your point. It is about money. It is about advertisers. It is about people who want to get involved. Now I'll say, and you notice we didn't run ads. We didn't run ads. We kept it as C3. We ran obviously a Charlie tribute. We talked about our own org.
Look.
That was it.
If you guys if this was to be a for-profit venture based off the views that you got, and next you did a festival based off those views, is a $100 million operation overnight. It's not an exaggeration. A festival that can pull in those kind of live numbers, you think about the amount of sponsors each stage is going to be able to get. You think about, and when I say 100 million, I mean it's a sell, it's a value of. So I'm picturing that if you started selling advertisement spots, first you need the plan, how many stages, where's it's going to be, what's it going to look like, which includes the live stream with an estimated 40 to 50 million, probably more next year.
Do it exactly on the site of Woodstock '99.
Yeah.
Bro,
In February, or you want to do that?
this is you're gonna bring in
exactly.
like 20 or 30 million dollars in paid sponsorships in advance. And so festivals like this, based off the conventions and stuff that I've seen in the sales that they've pulled in based on their numbers, this is like a $100 million business.
Look,
that you
at
guys
the end of the
already
day, it's as amazing as all that is. Look, we have to make sure that whatever we do, we stay true to the mission, right? And that's Charlie's mission. Because Charlie, and this is one of the things that people don't realize. Like, this wasn't like yeah, I had the tweet and all, but like it was Charlie's. He always talked about the Super Bowl halftime show, and he would say, this isn't family friendly. You can't show this to little kids. He would call it, this is debauchery. He called it sexual anarchy in 2022. And his whole point was, you've got to have something that showcases the type of, we have a clip of him where he's saying, showcase the type of virtues that you want to see throughout the country. And so what do we have? We had rock music, we had country, we had Kid Rock preaching the gospel, by the way. I don't think anybody saw that coming, which, man, it was so hard for me to not talk about that because I was sitting backstage bawling my eyes out. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. When he hit that song, when he started singing, when he showed the picture of Charlie and he started singing about, hey, when your dad asks you to go fishing, why don't you say yes? Because one day you can't. Mm-hmm. Lost it.
Kellen helped pull something together. Looks like we're good to go. Let me grab this.
Uh-oh.
No. Uh-oh.
Big uh-oh.
No. Uh-oh, bro.
Ellen's cooking.
It's all
Kellen's cooking, bro.
Oh, Starbase Texas.
Hey, there you go.
Oh.
That's
Because
very-
like the halftime show,
It's the wrong date if you're going to do the Super Bowl next year, but
Yeah, it's
And
February.
on the note of like the virtues we want to see from the halftime show, like this doesn't necessarily have to be like we get around and like show like let's get married and have kids. Like it should celebrate like American vitality, like, the essence of America.
Real quick, this is a parody of Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he sent me.
But the point, I mean, my point is like, it's like, yeah, you don't have to be so overt like that.
Just celebrate like
whereas Bad
American
Bunny
vitality.
Yeah, but that's what it is, through art, through music.
The last like
Well, and you got what, and I think a lot of people got what Kid Rock was doing with the way that he did the transition.
Yeah.
Of where people were saying, okay, first he comes out with Ball at the Ball. That's how you met him. He was Kid Rock, and he was introduced as Kid Rock. But then Kid Rock goes away, and then you get Antonio and Allison Marin, who the phenomenal the string section comes out, and then they have this moment showcasing transition. Right,
Yeah.
that was the whole point of transition, that like a real transition, not like the crazy one that we talk about. Then he gets reintroduced. The same guys who come up, they reintroduce him as Robert Ritchie, and then Robert Ritchie comes out and plays Till You Can't. And so the point was, it's him saying, "Look, this was me in the '90s. Top of the world. I've got the girls. I got the fame. I got the jets. I got everything I want. But I don't have Christ, and I'm missing something." And that's what he finds. And he's talking about second chances, and he's obviously, he's singing about himself. He's singing about, I found Christ. And so you're looking at his salvation story, and he's offering that to so many people. And I didn't even get that because I had heard, what do you mean we're getting a string section? And Kid Rock wants a cello. Like what?
Oh my God, bro! Wait, I just had a vision.
And then we put it all together. It was phenomenal.
get a vision.
We have to. I had a vision. I had a vision of All That Remains playing main stage, and Mike Lindell comes out.
Yeah.
And right at one of like the biggest screams.
Oh, no.
Mike Lindell
patriot
just
on their
takes
feet.
it. Bro.
Every page.
I'd hand over the mic. I'd hand over the mic for Mike Lindell.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.